It's the two dudes with the attitudes, let's go. On the Friday, you know what it is, man, they came to handle biz. Two dudes with attitudes, and they came to get it in. If you wanna hear it all, yeah, you in the right place. Going through the highs and lows at a pretty calm pace. This is where they talk to all elite, Dynamite and Rampage. All the other news on your timelines or your page. Shooting star press like it's mad side down. MWO, and yeah, they here to hold it down. Had to kick a rhyme just to tell you about the show. From the TikToks or the shorts, they will bring the smoke. And yeah, it's the dudes like it's Sean and it's Diesel. Live on the Twitch, YouTube for the review. Show them all the love on the platform you using. 5-star rating now, there is no excuses. Welcome back or welcome for the first show. Two dudes with the attitudes, time to work, bro.
Let's go.
That song gets me amped. I like that.
It does, right?
Talks about me being Matt Sydal and formerly known as Evan Bourne in the WWE. I want to hear it again. Jazz.
Attitudes, let's go.
Let's go.
Playing on a loop.
I love it. That's okay. We play it all day. We'll play it the whole time we do our podcast.
We should.
Welcome back to Dudes with Attitudes Wolfpack. We in the his house, as they would say if I was young. As my son says, this podcast is busting.
That's
and
right.
as always,
no cap.
No cap. It is AEW episode, my peeps. And we're talking all things AEW. And I don't know about Shooting Star because, I think he's a AEW hater. But I think I got some positive things to talk about on AEW this week. So we've been pooping on him. That was a JK. We've been pooping on AEW the past few weeks, both of us together. That's why I was trying to get the AEW fans behind me and not Shooting Star. Like, I want them to poke.
Turn me heel and you babyface?
Yes, sir. I'm doing the MJF right now, baby.
The double turn. I like it.
All right, WWE episode this week. We brought back NXT. AEW, we brought back Rampage. And opening up Rampage, I want to talk about it. I messed that up. Two dudes, Wolfpack. What you all want to talk about? What does he say again? Cody was stupid.
Hang on, I got it. Yeah, hang on.
Do you have it? Let's see.
Where is it? I did have it. Oh, I do. I have it right here.
What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about? That's what it is.
By the way, I have this one too.
So what do you want to talk about?
That's when Roman Reigns questioned him. Yeah.
What do you want to talk about? Let me tell you, everybody who has The Miz is awesome, and, Seth Rollins and everybody else's things that everybody says. Every time he says that line, Cody Rhodes, ain't nobody respond nor cheer afterwards.
And it's different every time, too.
Every time. It's so,
it's like, so Buffalo, what do you guys want to talk about? And then the next week it's, what do you want to talk about? I'm like, that's a difference. Yeah. It's every week is different.
And no one cares. But anyway, we can crap on Cody later. All right, but we brought back AEW Rampage, and I'm not gonna lie. Since the last time we talked about Rampage was the last episode we thought they were gonna have, because they said they were making it like a dark. Boy, that's why I'd never listen to Meltzer. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Rampage felt important, and I love it. I've been watching it still here and there. But I literally focused on it because it's a podcast. I got to do my homework. And holy cow, it felt important. It had a bunch of important matches. All their tournaments that they're doing were all placed in here. They had big names in the match. They pushed storylines way more than Collision did. Rampage was fun. It was a fun hour. I was kind of happy we brought it back. I wasn't sad. I was engaged. The Young Bucks were in it. People were, they were talking about MJF again and and Adam Cole, baby. They were talking about everything. They were getting it going, hyping up Collision, hyping up the tournament. They're having more matches next week on Rampage. I was the couple I missed, I'm kind of sad I missed it because I think I missed things. I like it. So yeah, what you think? Is Rampage doing it, not doing it? I had more fun watching Rampage than I did Collision. So
yeah. I mean, this was the 100th episode of Rampage too, so they
letting you have that. Yep,
they've had 100 episodes, and good for them. I
agree.
They've had some hits on Rampage. They've had some big misses on Rampage. But yeah, Rampage lately, since we stopped watching them or stopped covering them for this podcast, they've had it feels like Rampage has gotten better and better. They had MJF and Adam Cole on there a few weeks ago, and that was MJF's Rampage debut. That's when they formed the tag team that they're in now in the first place. There's just so many. Yeah, John Moxley's been on there. The BCC's been on there. Everybody but CM Punk has been on there. So it's just been, Rampage is just getting better and better. And I think I kind of don't want them to turn it into Dark or Elevation now. I kind of like the way they have it. I kind of like, Collision doing its thing on Saturday and Rampage kind of being almost that third hour of Dynamite that just comes on 2 days later.
It flowed nicely. It felt right.
Yeah.
It felt good. I agree with you. I like it. I like now that we have 3 and 3 to cover for each show. It feels more balanced. I like the hour. Don't make it 2 now because you have Collision at 2. But it felt good. It felt right. It was like when I lost my virginity. So
of course,
awkward yet feeling good and feeling right. So I loved it all. So good on you, Rampage. What did you dig about it?
I actually I'm gonna say it, and you can yell at me later, but I actually liked the Jeff Jarrett and Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia match. I thought I love that match. I thought it was great. I liked the shenanigans during the match. I liked all the the right team won. I didn't expect Jeff Hardy or Matt Hardy and Jeff Jarrett to win this tournament. I didn't even expect them to win this match. So I was happy to see Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia get the win. But yeah, I liked the dynamic. I thought they played into that whole odd couple dynamic very well. I thought that they partnered together, and I wouldn't hate seeing them team up again in the future, Jeff Jarrett and Matt Hardy. But I don't want to get too crazy with it. I'm not saying put the tag belts on them. I'm not saying form a trio. I'm not. So Tony Khan, I know you're listening and I know you're watching, so don't get crazy. But I liked the match. I thought the ending was great. I liked that. This. I don't know. There was a lot to like about this match. There was a lot to. It was just a fun match. It was a fun way to, continue this tournament, this Eliminator tournament. I kind of like the odd couple dynamic in wrestling sometimes. I feel like AEW is overdoing it a little bit in this tournament by having Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, MJF and Adam Cole, Jeff Jarrett and Matt Hardy. But and I think I was down on this match before they even announced it when they picked the partners, because it was just like, why? But I liked it. I thought it was a fun match, and it was very, very sports entertainment-y. And I was down for it.
I agree. I actually agree. And I was actually going to talk about this segment before I decided just to open us up with a nice little thank you Rampage on their, doing their thing on their 100th episode. But I did like it. And I thought you were going to talk about how you exploded when your boy Ethan Page came out to make the save. And, he's feeling relevant. He's
turning into a babyface now.
Yeah, he got a nice little rub. And, and I like that they're doing that instead of him arguing about his contract like Matt Hardy was doing. I like that they're doing a different approach with it, that Hardy owns his contract and he's kind of going with it. And he's like, this is my dude, then I'm going to back him up. And he kicked some butt, and I liked it. I agree with you. I thought it was fun, and I thought it was a great way to kind of in the middle of a show for Rampage. And like I said, it had big people in it, man. You got Matt Hardy, you got Jeff Jarrett, you got the whole Jeff Jarrett crew, you got, Ethan Page. You had a lot of people on Rampage. It was a fun episode. So mad props. And with that said, we go into Collision. We go into our Saturday. They did that twice. They did it, and then CM Punk came out and cut a pointless promo, and then they did more Saturday. Saturday. It's so anyway. Collision though. Props to Collision. This is the fourth. Woo!
Yeah.
The fourth?
Yep, the fourth episode.
All right. Well, it's the first one I enjoyed. So I watched it and I enjoyed it. They're still not pushing storylines and they're still just having matches for 2 hours. But I enjoyed it. And the one thing I enjoyed was I was surprised in the WWE with Zoe Stark and Becky Lynch. And I was flipping surprised at the Bullet Club Gold. Boom. I figured it out. That's how they do it. They do a boom. They do the side. They do a
Gotcha.
That's how they do it. But I can't do it right because I don't have
because of the camera.
the same person. Yeah. But yeah, Bullet Club Gold defeated FTR. You got to give props to FTR, right? They win the belts. They don't ever wrestle anymore. They're just kind of like CM Punk's biatches. And then they wrestle finally and they lose. Go FTR. But Bullet Club Gold, we were just saying, and once again, Tony Khan, keep watching our show. We appreciate you. Mr. TK, maybe start, sponsoring us, kick us some money, maybe mention us.
Yeah, give us some t-shirts.
You part of the Wolfpack, bruh. Let's go. Yeah, I can't afford your t-shirts. Every time I go, I'm like, I'm going to buy more t-shirts, AEW. I'm not paying for that. Do you like WWE, AEW? Put your stuff 25% off. But anyway, Bullet Club gets a win, and holy crap, was this a match? Was this a match? This was an A+ match. This was a banger of a match. The right team won, and I love that we're going to get it again. I was all for them getting the title thing and then going backstage. And then not only you're like, okay, we had an A+ match. How are we going to top it? 2 out of 3s, bruh. We're going to have 2 out of 3s coming up on, I don't know, another Collision or Dynamite or Rampage. I don't know what it was. I wasn't paying that much attention. But I did like that they were having another match, 2 out of 3 falls. I dig it. Bullet Club Gold, they're probably going to lose anyway in the 2 out of 3s, but they can still get a good push. Where were the guns? Didn't they just get added in? Leave it to AEW to like start a faction and then just not have them together the next day. Yeah, were they out or are they just not there? Were they?
I don't know. I can't keep up with like who because like who was the face tattoo guy that debuted with Swerve Strickland? And
I think he was fired, right?
Those guys are gone, both of them, and that's why they merged. Yeah, I can't keep up with AEW's rotating door. They should have a pay-per-view called Rotating Door, not Forbidden Door, and just like people that, the people that just come and go, and they're there for one night, and you never see them again. Yeah, but yeah, no, this was definitely a great match. It might be up there with as far as in the ring and the spots and everything that was told, the story, I guess, that was told in the ring too, might be match of the year so far. And
you're not wrong.
I mean, it was great. It was just from beginning to end, it was a banger. The near falls from the finish to it was well done. And this is this is what makes me want to tune in next week on Collision. This is the kind of stuff
next week on Collision. That's what it was. Okay.
I think. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if it is. Now that I say that out loud, I don't know. That's the thing. I don't think AEW really told us. I think they just said it's coming up soon, and then it'll probably be at Blood and Guts, or it might be at All Out, or it might be one of those. Well, I don't know, because the winner of at All Out will face the winner of the Eliminator tournament. So I don't know, but. Yeah, I love this match. I thought it was great. FTR showed out. The Bullet Club looked good. I don't know how I feel about the Bullet Club losing because you just formed this faction. But at the same time, I've railed against AEW for having their champions lose all the time. And so they didn't do that here. So I'm going to give them praise for not doing that.
Yep. Word. All right.
But let's, speaking of AEW Collision, let's talk about the boy, the man, CM Punk, and his match with Samoa Joe to close out the show. He has moved on to the finals of the Owen Hart Invitational, and that will take place this Saturday on Collision, where he will face Ricky Starks, a current, I guess, friend of Punk's. They've been working together with FTR against the Bullet Club Gold and Juice Robinson. He's been feuding with those guys, and now they're going to be going against each other for the Owen Hart Championship. Maybe that was what was in the bag that CM Punk was carrying, and I don't know, but I thought this was the Punk Samoa Joe match. I thought Punk looked good in this match. I don't know if these guys just have it every time they wrestle, because every time they wrestle, it's a banger, with the exception of the tag team match when he came back, the 6-man. But when they wrestle one-on-one, it's a banger. They just have that chemistry. They can go. They can tell where each other's going to go next. They can read each other's minds in the ring. They tell, it was a good match. And yeah, this may have been Punk's best match since his re-return a couple weeks ago. So I'm down for it. I want to see what happens. I really hope Punk does the right thing and lets Ricky Starks win the Owen Hart Invitational, but I have this feeling that Punk is going to take it because he's CM Punk and he's better than you and you know it. So he's got to have the Owen Hart because I know he's a big fan of Owen Hart and Bret Hart and all those guys, and so why not have him win the Owen Hart tournament too? But no, this was Punk's best match, and I think a lot of that had to do with Samoa Joe. I like the Samoa Joe beatdown at the end too that he gave Punk after Punk tried to shake his hand. Samoa Joe just doesn't. He's that guy. He just does not care. He's not here to be your friend. He's here to kick your ass. And I loved it. I thought it was a good way to end the show.
Did you like the ending? You like the pin?
Yeah, I mean
the first time Punk beats him ever, and it's like a roll up.
Yeah, that was a little cheesy. I didn't like that. But if you're gonna do it that way, fine. But then don't make a big deal about that being the first time CM Punk ever beat Samoa Joe. Or if you're gonna make a big deal about CM Punk beating Samoa Joe, have him beat him in a different way. But I did not like that roll up. Yeah. When you were asking about the ending, I was like, oh yeah, I just said I like the ending, but you were talking about the actual roll up. Yeah.
That's what this was like. They've wrestled a bunch and they're even, and he beats them with a roll up. But this was like literally advertised as Punk cannot beat Samoa Joe, and now he beats them with a roll up. Is that really winning? Some wrestlers don't even consider they usually get instant rematches if you get a roll up. It's like that was lucky. So I don't understand what I don't. That was it. But other than that, everything you said was spot on. I think Punk has his best matches with Samoa Joe. And another, we talk about Baron Corbin being underrated. We don't give Samoa Joe enough for being underrated because he's kind of been that guy, but he is soups underrated. How many titles did he win in WWE? Yeah, exactly. He was NXT champ and he was a phenomenal one. What has he done in AEW?
Should have been WWE champ. Yeah.
100%. And now he's an ROH champ, not a AEW champ. Dude is so underrated. Samoa Joe can go. He's over. He's phenomenal. He always puts on bangers, and TNA he was putting on bangers. Dude his rivalries with AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe is that guy, and he proved it. Because CM Punk has brought all sorts of dudes, from young guys to old guys, and he's looked sloppy. This was his best. How can I say that today? Best match by far. I agree with you. So props to that match, and props to Punk and CM Joe, Samoa Joe. You can tell we do this too late. I'm like, I'm 3
past
hours
our bedtime.
I want to talk about the tournaments in general, and here's why. You brought up last week that there's just too much going on. You can't have all these tournaments going on at once. And I thought about it, and as soon as my positive where Bullet Club Gold beat FTR and they're next up for the championships, it made me think. Now it's like another. So we're having a tournament to crown the next tag team number one contenders. And at the same time, you had a match to crown the next number one tag team contenders. So what the heck is going on? You have there's just way too. And then we're actually making the Owen Hart tournament feel important for once. Last year, it didn't feel like anything. Adam Cole and DDP.
DMD.
One of my favorites that I don't even want to say her name.
Luckily, we're not live for this one.
Right? So. Holy cow. Yeah, you better get to editing. But don't edit this. But
I don't.
They
don't know how to do that.
Won. Yeah, you're like, what's an editing? They both did phenomenal and they won. Give it to them, but the tournament felt stupid. This tournament feels important. We got big name people, the women and the men's battling and this and that. But what the hell are they battling for? So now we have a tag team tournament where they're going to win number one contender, but they already just gave somebody else a number one contendership. So they have to go through a tournament to earn it. And then
that doesn't seem fair.
Then we have CM Punk, who wants to win because rest in peace, Owen Hart. I honestly have never heard him bring up Owen Hart before in my life. I've heard him bring up Bret Hart, but I guess Bret, you like Owen, so get out of my face with this. He's Owen Hart. So I've never once heard him bring up Owen Hart. But
I don't think I have either. Now that he's, I know he's a big Bret Hart fan, so I guess I assume he likes Owen. Yeah.
Don't ever put Bret with Owen ever.
No,
Owen was on a different level, and Bret is Owen Hart was the
Brett's,
man.
Yeah, Brett's a bitter old man.
100%. He was not as good as Owen in the ring either, or on the mic. But neither here nor there. Rest in peace, Owen Hart. But why are, like you said, we can't even get a TNT title match off of this, or you know what? You don't win the King of the Ring and get nothing, right? We got to do something better than just winning the Owen Hart. So I just feel like we have all these tournaments going on, hogging up all 3 shows. But what does it even mean, Basil? Help me out here. What's going on? Why should I care?
I'm perplexed too. I have no answers for this because, and the thing is I didn't even think about the Bullet Club Gold being the number 1 contenders.
Yeah,
when you're having a tournament to crown the number 1
the
contenders.
Same night.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Never even registered in my head. And the thing is in that other tournament, you have your world champion, and not only do you have your world champion, you have your international champion, your second biggest champion in that tournament, and you're having them go for the number 1 contendership for the. They could just walk
Adam
in.
Cole, he might be the most over.
Yeah, the most over guy. They could literally just ask for a title match and get it.
Right.
If this was WWE, they would just say, "Hey, we challenge you for the titles," and they say, "Okay," and that's the story. But AEW, I mean, this is an example of them doing too much sometimes. And I've railed on them for the tournaments, and there's too many going on at one time. And on Dynamite, which we'll get into in just a second, but we saw some tournaments. We saw the conclusions of the semifinals, and now we don't have the finals for another 2 to 3 weeks. I think the next final is like July 29th. So that's all of this week, the rest of this week, and all of next week before we get it the following week. And so that doesn't seem right either. It feels like we're doing all this stuff and then we're gonna just derail it for 2 weeks, and then I guess you got to build to it. I mean, I don't know. I don't like all these tournaments. It's just way too much.
It's not just me. Okay.
Yeah. No.
The whole Collision was a tournament.
Yeah.
Every match except for like one. And the other one was for the number 1 contender of the tag team, which was like the jumping over the tournament. So it was all.
And this Saturday is going to be more tournament. And the finals, Punk and Starks. Yeah.
Yeah. Is the women's one too or no?
I think so. I think the women are also. I think it's Ruby Soho and somebody. Yeah. Yeah. So that's going to be on Saturday as well.
So. All right. What say you? Last collision point.
Oh man. I want to talk I touched on it briefly, but actually, you know what? I'm going to take it back. Scorpio Sky, he's back, and I'm happy to see him. He was a former TNT champion that, like many others before him, dropped that title questionably and then disappeared, like many others before him that have held that title, just disappeared out of the AEW spotlight. I had no idea he was hurt until like a few weeks ago when he showed up on the first episode of Collision.
And he's been out for like 2 years.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey guys, I'm back," and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even know you were
tired, bro."
Yeah, I honestly thought I was like, "Oh yeah," because he was with that Dan Lambert dude, and we haven't seen him in a long time either. And he just disappeared. I'm telling you, he disappeared just like everybody else in AEW does. But no, I was excited to see Action Andretti. I was excited to see Scorpio Sky. I thought they had a great match. I thought this was the perfect match for a guy like that, kind of the right match for a guy like Sky in his return. I think this was exactly what he needed. I thought it was a good. It wasn't. Was it the greatest technical match I've ever seen? No. Was it the greatest high flying match I've ever seen? No. Was it the greatest match I've ever seen? No. But I thought it was a good reintroduction to showcase Scorpio Sky's talent, because I'm kind of high on Scorpio Sky. I like the guy. I think he, if they use him correctly, I think he can be a star in AEW. And I like it. Action Andretti, it feels like his star has kind of fizzled out, and he's the one that's debuted and beat Chris Jericho on his first night on Dynamite, and it feels like he's really faded out. But I thought this was a good match for Scorpio Sky. I think him and Action Andretti had some good chemistry, and I do wish that AEW would bring back SCU. That's really what I know Scorpio Sky from, was that tag team SCU, and I thought they were a fun group. But if you're gonna,
who was his partner in SCU? Bring it up.
Oh, who was it? It was what's his face? He's now in Impact. Now his name's escaping me. Hang on.
So wasn't Scorpio Sky with Ethan Page?
Was it Ethan Page?
He was with Ethan Page in that Dan Lambert crew. That's why I thought you liked him, because he was with your homie.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was thinking of
that's a whole different crew. SCU was Christopher
I was thinking
Daniels
of Christopher Daniels. Yeah. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah. No, Scorpio Sky was with Ethan Page, wasn't he? I thought so. I thought they were champs, weren't they? Weren't they champs? I don't know.
Yeah, they were.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
yeah,
Scorpio
they need to bring.
Sky, yeah.
Yeah, Let me look this up, because this is gonna bug me. What was this?
Look him up, and I'll give up my review while you're looking him up. But yeah.
Oh, he was in SCU. It was Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, and Scorpio Sky. He was part of that
three
group.
of them. Okay.
Yeah, so they were a trio.
You were right. Yeah.
And then he was with
Ethan Page.
He was with Ethan Page when he was rolling with Dan Lambert.
Okay.
So yeah, I was like, wait.
Because remember, the Scorpio Sky was the one who was like, "You guys are blah blah." Like, wasn't he the one that was like breaking them up at one point? Because that's who Dan Lambert originally started with, was them two. They were like with all of the MMA guys. They were with the whole crew, Dan Lambert's crew, where they used to bring like Alexander Arlovsky and other people, Andrea Arlovsky and all these other guys, and Homegirl, the girl who now does porn with her husband, Paige Van Sant, and all them. Yeah, they used to come out. They were like the two wrestlers with the crew. But anyway, neither here nor there. I thought it was cool to see Scorpio Sky come back. I thought it felt a little weird though, because we had all these big matches, and it was kind of like Scorpio Sky, and I was like, wait, why Scorpio Sky? And they're like, it's his return, and I'm like, then where the hell was like the hyping it?
That's
I remember
the thing.
they talked about it last week, but like,
give us a video. Yeah,
days later, you gotta WWE does that right, and something AEW doesn't do right. You gotta hype it up. And with that said, let me talk about something else really quick. Julia Hart, by the way, smoking hot, good in the ring, in a phenomenal faction. She walks out to the ring to have a match, and they casually bring up the fact that she's 23-0. She's won 23 straight matches. She's 8-0 this year, won 23 straight matches.
Yeah,
you're not gonna hype that up. You're not. She's won. That's almost at the level of Jim Carter. You're just having this girl just casually walk out with 23 straight wins, and let's talk about it. Like,
but here's the thing. Like,
come on, AEW.
This is where AEW drives me insane. I think we've maybe seen 2 of those matches on TV.
There you go.
I think like she might be 2-0 on television, but that the rest of them are on are wherever Dark is and wherever Elevation are. Like that's where I'm like, but those like I don't. I feel like some of those stats are misleading sometimes. Like, there's no way she's 23-0 this year.
But how are you going to return somebody like Scorpio Sky and talk about Julia Hart being 23-0 and not hype it up at all?
Yeah, and they got to get better at that.
You know what they did show though? Action Andrade's win and loss record. He's 7-6, bro. Now he's 7-7 because he lost. That dude beat Jericho. I just want you guys to remember that. And he was like debut. What 2-0? Oh, 1-0.
Yeah, it was Jericho. First night. Yeah.
That dude is 6-7 since he beat Chris Jericho. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
so what can you do? But anyway, good point. Let's bring up Dynamite, right? Let's bring up the flagship show of AEW. And I actually thought, once again, I thought it was a fun show. And I want to talk about the best part of AEW going on right now. You want to know why, Shooting Star Press? Because they're better than you, baby. And
I love it.
I'm going to bring up something that our fans will not know, but they are reminding me of, like Abbott and Costello. They are like a cool comedy act. I think they're better than MJF and Jericho were. I just like the dynamic. They went to a bar and they're taking shots. MJF sees 4 chicks walk by and he's like, bro, they're checking us out. Math ain't hard. 2 and 2. Let's go. And Adam Cole, without really saying the fact that he's married, he's not married. Is he married? He's not married, right? They're just dating. But he casually is like, come on, fam. And MJF's like, not even like any like Barney Stinson like pressure.
Come
He was
on,
like,
man.
all right then.
Suit up.
4 for me. Yeah, he was like, 4 for me. And he leaves, comes back 10 seconds later, zipping up his pants. He's all about that life. It was hilarious stuff. The fact that Adam Cole is going with it. Adam Cole admits that, hey, I didn't really lose your shirt. I don't want to wear it, but I will if you do one thing with me. And MJF is playing video games, which I have. The game is flipping phenomenal. I've only played it a few times. My life is too busy, but I'm going to get invested in it, and I want to talk about it on this podcast and so on. But that's Fight Forever AEW. It's old school N64 type vibe. It's really good. But anyway, MJF's playing it. They win the tag titles, and MJF has a moment, and it doesn't feel like his other moments. This isn't feeling like old MJF where he's trying to, fool us. He's like, oh, wow, I've never played with other people. It feels good. And Adam Cole's like, you never played video games with people? And he's like, yeah, I don't have many friends. And it was just kind of and Adam Cole was like, man, that's but you're a cool dude. You need friends. And it felt good. It was it didn't feel like a moment that you were trying to mislead us like he did with CM Punk and so on and everybody else he ever. It felt like a real moment. And then they come out and they have a phenomenal match. And the fact that these two dudes had a match and they were able to put over Brian Cage and Big Bill. So I think Big Bill and Brian Cage came out looking better than they ever have in this match. They looked phenomenal. They looked like a terrorizing group. And Adam Cole and MJF really had to do everything they can to get that win. And I loved it. The promo afterwards was really good with him egging on to do it. And they're chanting. And it just this has been, in my opinion, they've been wanting to turn MJF babyface. I think this is their proud moment to do so. I think no matter how you're going to say this is going to end, it's going to end with him. You don't want to talk about it yet, but it's going to end with him, in my opinion, becoming a babyface. But the only thing I don't really like about this group, though, is that MJF has become the Marty Jannetty of the tag team. And what that means is that he comes out and he gets his butt kicked the entire match, and Adam Cole has to come out and make the save. And I think that's really weird, only because MJF is a champ. He shouldn't be getting his butt kicked in tag team matches against a Big Bill. But other than that, dude, I'm watching AEW for this. So I'm all for it. Sign me up over and over and over again. And they're doing it perfectly. And I think it's getting them both over.
I agree. And I think this is the kind of stuff that, we like in the WWE. WWE has done this stuff before. And, and when and if it happens, if there is a turn, if somebody does betray the other one, there's going to be a story there. And I think it's going to make it feel that much more personal, that much more, you're going to feel sad. You're going to have actually investment in emotions inside in a story within AEW. So I loved it. I like the video game promo too, because it showed a humanizing version of MJF. And it felt real. It didn't feel like he was trying to swindle us or wink at the camera or something that MJF would have done in the past. It felt real, that he really does feel like he doesn't have many friends. And, I am curious to see where this goes, and I'm excited for it. But these guys, I don't want to see them break up. I think they have immense chemistry. I wouldn't mind them taking the tag team titles and giving, if you're not taking the belt off of MJF and you want to give Adam Cole his first title in AEW,
which he deserves.
There's nothing wrong with him having the AEW tag team titles from FTR. So bring it on. You could have MJF having 2 belts. You could have Adam Cole having a belt. Keep this momentum going, keep this story going for a little bit. I love it. It was all good stuff. It was all. Did you notice though that I know MJF he's talked in the past in his build to the match with Danielson about the girl that was in the car and her name was Liv. Did you notice that one of those girls looked exactly like Liv Morgan?
No, did they? I wasn't really. No, that's hilarious.
If you go back and watch,
I have it recorded.
Go back and watch it. You'll see that there's a blonde girl and she looks exactly like almost. I was like, wait, that is Liv Morgan, but it obviously it wasn't. But I had to do a double take, and then I did a triple take and a quadruple take, and I was like, okay, I'm taking this.
Morgan ain't bad, but they're all besties in real life, or maybe homies or whatever, right? Because he goes to their pool parties and stuff. I saw that on the internet.
Yeah.
Could they get in trouble for posting pics because it was a mix of them and
probably
AEW, WWE guys posted it on social? Yeah,
I don't know, but then again, we got.
I think that's why he brought her up, was that reason. I think because they're friends. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to see Ricky Starks backstage at the Royal Rumble, and there was no heat on him there, or maybe there was. I don't know, but
it's all about what
yeah.
you post. He didn't post it though. That was just
True.
They knew he was
somebody
there.
else
Yeah,
took
it's
him
all
there.
about that. Yeah,
somebody else posted it.
Yeah,
but we want to take the good. Now I want to talk about the bad from AEW, and this is something that drives me insane, and I talk about it all the freaking time. Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy lost in the semifinals of this Eliminator tag team tournament to Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. Now, this is not a slight on Sammy Guevara or Daniel Garcia. They're a phenomenal group. They're representing the JAS, even though the JAS may or may not be a thing anymore after this episode of Dynamite. But, because Don Callis is recruiting him to be in the Don Callis family, which I've never heard the Don Callis family until just now. You and I thought earlier that he was recruiting him to be the 5th member of the Blood and Guts thing next week. And
we'll talk about that.
Yeah. But man, like Orange Cassidy's your international champion, and Darby Allin just competed for the world title at Double or Nothing. And yes, Sammy Guevara was in that match too, and I get that. But to have your champion, you have your second champion. I mean, the international champion is looked at as the second title in AEW, and he's defended it 25, 20, 30 times, something like that. And you have him lose in this. Now, I didn't think he was going to win, so I didn't think he was going to win the tournament. I didn't think but to have him lose like this, with the Mogul Embassy coming out and interfering, and then the face turn of Sammy Guevara, they got literally no reaction from the crowd at all.
None. Yeah.
Because he's coming out and he's like shaking hands with Darby Allin, but fans didn't react at all, and that was a pretty lively crowd at AEW. So I don't know. I didn't like this. I didn't like I liked the match. The match was good. Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia are fine as a team, and I just didn't like the fact that you had your international champion in this match in the first place, when Darby Allin has been known for his relationship with Sting, and then B, you have your international champion lose. Now, granted, he didn't take the pinfall. This was all Darby Allin, but still,
Darby.
Yeah, he's the one he took the L at Double or Nothing. Now he's taking this one, and yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the outcome of this match.
No, you didn't like him losing to Mr.
No. Yeah, the little dance,
sexy,
his thing.
Yeah. Either way, yeah, I agree with you. How are you gonna have Orange, and not only that, but which we already alluded to. You had MJF and Adam Cole, baby, win, and they're gonna face Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. Like, cool. They would have. I thought of Orange Cassidy and Darby. That felt like a bigger match. Yeah, I was very confused on that too.
But I would make the argument that those are 4 of the biggest guys in AEW: MJF, Adam Cole, Darby Allin, and Orange Cassidy. And you had an opportunity to have them in the ring with each other, going against each other. Like, I would have paid money to see that match.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see that, because again, you have the international champion, who MJF has called him a mark many a time in the past.
And now you got a world champ. Yep.
Yeah. I wanted
2 over guys. Yeah.
It was a missed opportunity for AEW for sure.
I agree, and I'm not shitting on Sammy, because I love Sammy Guevara, and I have nothing against
I do too.
Daniel Garcia either. But it is what it is. I thought it was weird, and I thought it was weird that Darby took the L, and I don't know. What's the point? Obviously, the Jericho appreciation, is that going to push more of the Jericho Appreciation Society breaking up, or because obviously we'll talk about, maybe, I don't know, but there was a Jericho. I don't know. Anyway, let me talk about more confusing stuff. Are you ready? Let's talk about the 5th members. They were hinting all day that this Blood and Guts match is going to have a 5th member on each side. We need a 5th member, right? So we have Don Callis come out to close out the show with the BCC. I guess Don Callis is in the BCC, or is he not? Or is he in the Don Callis family? Or I'll get back to you later. I have no idea. AEW.
I don't know what they're doing.
Either way, he's announcing who the 5th member is. And, you know, we got the Elite coming out, Kenny Omega trying to run his mouth. And all of a sudden, here comes PAC. And boy, did he look good. It was a surprise. I haven't seen PAC in forever. I was excited to see him. I also thought he was already in a faction, but who cares? And because factions are just whatever they want to be.
Yeah.
But he comes out. He looks good. It felt good. He puts a beating on Kenny Omega. He's all business. I'm thinking like, dang, him and Mox together, like, woof. You know, like Claudio, like I'm my Yuta, I'm like my blood pressure is going too high. I'm like super pumped. And then they put Kenny Omega in the ring. They put a chair over his neck. Don Callis gets a free shot. He kicks him once with the lightest kick I've ever seen in my life, and it's supposed to be devastating to Kenny Omega. The crowd even reacted like, oh, like because that's an AEW. They'll chant holy shit into anything. Literally, I told you, if someone comes out and takes a shit in the ring, they will chant holy shit. And he kicks him in the face like a bebe. And all of a sudden, Kenny Omega gets a mic and is like, I don't know why he has a mic as he has a chair to his neck. And he's like, give me the mic. We also have a fifth member, and it's. And they hold the chair to his neck, and about 57 minutes later, they announce that the fifth member is what's his name again? It is
Kota Ibushi.
Kota Ibushi. Ibushi. I forgot how they say it. No offense to him, but once again, Tony Khan. I get that you have more time than me and Shooting Star. I watched 12 hours of wrestling just on AEW and WWE alone. That doesn't include anything else I watch. I don't have time to watch New Japan Wrestling as well. Stop making these people feel important because they're important. Like, I could not imagine WWE doing that and bringing out a random Impact dude. Like, and the fifth member is, you know, this guy. And he comes out.
Bully Ray. Yeah.
Well, at least Bully Ray's a name.
True.
Like, who's this? This dude's only like. Why did we were talking about earlier too with like hype videos, like, why didn't you cut up, like, if you're going to show a video, like hype him up really quick. Who he is he the champ? Was he a champ? Is he a Hall of Famer in New Japan? Is he that guy? Has he beaten people in AEW? Show something and then have him come out. He came out to no pop either. No one knew the Hollywood. We're not all hardcore New Japan wrestling. I consider myself, and you consider yourself, a hardcore wrestling fan. And I had no idea who this guy was. Now I know there's going to be people on here, Marks, that are going to be like, oh, you didn't know who he was? You're not a real wrestling fan. Sorry, I don't have time to watch New Japan wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't. I can't watch everything. Sorry, y'all. Get over it.
Plus,
I do a podcast. I can only cover so much damn wrestling. So, but make it feel like something. Don't just bring out a guy. PAC made sense. Dude's a champ in AEW. Dude has been in AEW. Dude was in WWE, NXT. Dude's been around. That was exciting. This dude, come on. Kenny Omega, like,
and
yawn.
You could have.
Is this Forbidden Door too, by the way?
Exactly. That's what like, you just had Forbidden Door, where the word is Forbidden Door. Like that's the emphasis is on Forbidden Door. That means like it's a once a year thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, ever since Forbidden Door ended, all we've seen is New Japan guys coming and going in AEW, AEW guys going to New Japan, and it's like, okay, so it's not a Forbidden Door. It's just you guys have an agreement with each other, and they're just going to show up randomly whenever. And you had Kenny Omega, I think, was it maybe off? I don't remember if it was off screen or what, but he cut a promo last week on Dynamite, I think, where he said that, you know, a few weeks ago I was MIA and everybody was looking for me and everyone thought I was in Canada, but I wasn't in Canada. I was hunting. Maybe it was during the Dynamite last week, but it was like I was hunting the fifth member of the Blood and Guts match. Yeah. Show us that interaction. You know, have a video. Show us like Kenny Omega landing in Japan and you know, he's fresh off of his loss to the BCC and fresh off of getting the screwdriver stabbed in his eye by Don Callis. Or show us something in the recruiting pitch. Tell us who this guy is. Why are you going after him? Like, give us something. Give us something to be invested in this. And that's the thing. Like, just because, like, I've heard the name Kota Ibushi, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you who he is. I don't know anything about him. And they didn't, you know, they love to put their, I don't know, just give us a hype video, give us something. And that's something like we just talked about it. AEW doesn't necessarily put the time and effort into that kind of stuff. They don't hype up their wrestlers. They just expect us to know who they are. And assume that we already know when, you know, you're not going to win new fans doing that.
Mm-mm. They'd even hype up if Randy Orton returned. He would return, and next week WWE would have a whole video package on Randy Orton. Dude is one of the most over wrestlers of all time, and I guarantee you WWE would do a hype video to 100%. Show us who he is.
Yeah,
like come on, AEW, like
where he's been, what he's been up to. Even they'll do like an interview, just a backstage interview, and saying, or like a pre-taped interview, saying like, "What have you been doing the last 6 months?" And boom, tells you the whole story right
there.
They
did it with Drew McIntyre. They've been hyping him up and what he's been doing and who he is ever since he returned. Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah, and I do not. I mean, I'm excited to see Pac. You know, anytime you get Pac and Omega in the ring together, it's always money. But I just don't. I don't know. I'm not really excited about this blood and guts match, and I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of blood. And you know, we've talked about this before. Like, bleeding doesn't necessarily make it good. So, you know, the high spots and all the extreme stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't need to see it.
No. All right, let's close it out.
Oh man, I want to talk about something that I actually enjoyed, and it was, you know, like my losing my virginity. It was about 15 seconds. So it was Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. You know, right after a match, I don't remember what. Maybe it was the Jericho Commander match. They cut to a backstage interview with Jungle Boy, and he's sitting in his car, and he's talking about, you know, doing the heel stuff. He's like, I'm not going in there. It's an unsafe work environment. AEW allows wrestlers to just beat you up willy-nilly, and you know, I'm in here for my own protection. And then I don't know if he had left his car door unlocked or if his door was wide open, but all of a sudden there's Hook. Hook is in the car with him, and he is beating the snot out of Jungle Boy to the point where Jungle Boy ends up having to get out of the car and run away, and Hook's chasing after him. And Hook finally speaks. He finally, like, I didn't think he could talk. I thought he was this silent guy. I thought he was Jay and Silent Bob. I thought he was Silent Hook. But he said, "Keep running, Perry," and that was it. And it was well done. I'm excited because, you know, there's a story there. There's a storyline there. These guys were a tag team. They could have been tag team champions. They were Jungle Hook. They were over. The fans loved them. And Jungle Boy betrayed him at Forbidden Door. I think I said this a couple weeks ago, but I think this gives Hook something to do, something for him to really sink his teeth into and help him move up the AEW roster. I think it gives Jungle Boy, you know, a more dynamic to his heel character. So I'm all in on this. I like this, and I am curious to see what happens next. I'm liking heel Jack Perry, and I'm liking fit babyface Hook, and I like that they both have something to do, and it's relevant, and there's a story there. I think that's the biggest takeaway.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like it too, and I like the story. I like having, even though I thought the Hook turn was out of nowhere. It's now working since, so I do appreciate it. I did think it was funny though, is that Hook like went in there and still like his hoodie on. Maybe if he would have had his hoodie down, he would have been able to beat him up a little bit more. He couldn't even find the door when he came out. It looked like he was like fumbling because he was like, my damn hoodie's over my. You don't always have to have your hoodie on, bro. Like, it's not raining.
Fix the strings.
Right. Like, wear a hoodie correctly. I also like that. Like, he got in the car, beat the snot, and then when he ran out, as soon as he got out of the car and shut the door, that driver was like, "Skrr!" And Hook was like, "Huh?" Like, that driver was like, "Yo, I don't want any part of this, you crazy man." But it was good. I like where it's going. I think Jungle Boy as a heel is going to work way better than a babyface. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but for new viewers, I always say it's so much easier to be a heel than it is a babyface. And when you are suffering as a babyface, a la my Funko Pop right there, Rocky Maivia, sometimes it doesn't work, and the best thing you can do is become a heel, and that's what Jungle Boy is doing. So I applaud it, and I'm all for it. Let's see where it goes, right? Let's see where it goes.
I'm down, and I look at Jungle Boy like Seth Rollins. You know, Seth Rollins was, you know, a babyface, and when he was the champion, it wasn't working, so he turned heel and became the Messiah. And then now look at him. Now he's back to being a babyface, and it's organic. It's from the, you know, because the crowd loves him and they start singing his song. And I could see Jungle Boy going back to that in the future. I could see him, you know, turning back to that babyface, but it's because the fans, he's still a bad guy, but it's the fans kind of like the bad guy. You know, they start, you know, getting behind him a little bit. So
I agree.
I want to see where it goes.
Me too. I agree. All right, man. We did it. Time for our segment.
54
AEW.
minutes too. Not bad.
Are you ready? you ready for our segment?
I am always ready for our segment.
Do you have it ready? Do you have what our segment's called? Come on.
I do.
We got it.
Prediction time.
What time is it?
Prediction time.
What time is it?
All right. It is prediction time. AEW edition. Are you ready, sir? We're going to throw out a couple predictions of what we think the future holds for some of the storylines going on currently in AEW. And then we're going to spice it up a little bit more next week. But this week, we're going to give you a soft prediction. You ready? As
Bring
always,
it.
the honorary dude gets to go first. The most handsome guy in the room. Let's go.
I don't
Before you
see
fall
him around
asleep.
here. Yeah.
Before you fall asleep, let's go. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning where you're like, let's do it.
Okay. I predict that this MJF Adam Cole tag team, I do think there's going to be a betrayal. And I do think somebody's going to turn on the other. But I don't think it's going to be the person that everybody thinks it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be Maxwell Jacob Friedman turning on Adam Cole. I think it's going to be Adam Cole that breaks the heart of MJF. I think MJF takes this way too seriously and enjoys it and is loving it. And it's going to be Adam Cole that breaks his heart and betrays MJF, leading to a double turn, a heel turn for Adam Cole and a babyface turn for MJF.
I like it. I like that prediction. That's bold. I'm going to
Yeah.
one-up you. I think they're going to win the tag team titles. And then Adam Cole is going to turn on him, costing them their tag team titles, thus leading Adam Cole and MJF having...
I'd be down for that too. And that's how we get to the title match.
And that's how he gets it. So you get the title, and that's how you get to the title match. I would like that. I think that's pretty good. I think this is no matter what's leading to him becoming a babyface, and I think Adam Cole's always better as a heel. So I like it. I think that's a good prediction. I wasn't thinking it until you threw it at my face. I'd rather just have them be homies, but I think it's going to lead.
I'm digging what they're doing.
But it's going to go either way. They're not going to become friends.
Yeah.
We can't have that in wrestling. We can't have nice things in wrestling. So
No.
I'm going to go with the basic one really quick. You ready? So we can get a couple in. I'm going to say Ruby Soho is winning this Owen Hart tourney, and she is going to have another belt, and she's actually going to wear it. I'm predicting she's going to rock this belt alongside Toni Storm, and her, Saraya, and the Outcasts are going to be the bee's knees and kind of running AEW in the women's division. I think Ruby deserves it as well.
Yeah, I like that. I like that pick. I think she should have won it last year over Britt Baker. She lost to Britt in the finals, and I have no idea why. I guess they had to have Adam Cole and Britt win it on the same night, and they can both get those titles. But I don't know. But I like that prediction. I think Ruby Soho deserves it. She has had, ever since she joined the Outcast, her career in AEW has done a complete 180. She has changed the trajectory, because I was worried about her. I was like, man, what's happened to Ruby Soho? She's just fallen off the face of the earth, and she hasn't been very good. She loses big matches, and now she's really finding her stride in AEW, and I think she deserves this win. I really do.
All three are killing it. Outcasts are phenomenal.
They're all great. All right. And in the going over back to our favorite TV show, AEW Collision, I'm going to throw another prediction at you. I think CM Punk is going to become the dastardly heel, and he's going to attack and beat down Ricky Starks after their match in the Owen Hart final. So, he's kind of playing that.
Because he loses?
Yes, because he loses. Because Ricky Stark's going to beat him. And then after the match, they're going to do the whole post-match handshake. And, it's going to make it look like, congratulations, you got me, kid. And, CM Punk's going to raise his hand in victory, because they've been working together against Bullet Club Gold, and they've been, they teamed up together on the second episode of Collision. And so they kind of have a little bit of history. And CM Punk is going to turn his back and attack Ricky Starks. And it's going to cause FTR to question what's going on with Punk. And he's going to kind of he's going to go down this path of just beating down everybody. Eventually, he's going to turn on FTR too.
I like that prediction. And it works, because that keeps him away from the Elite, which they should, because we ruined that his first week back. But I think I like that. It would give Ricky Starks a nice win. He can have a nice big old belt to wear for no reason. And I like that CM Punk doesn't need that win, and then he can become a heel. I dig it. You got 2 good predictions. I'm liking it.
Yeah,
I'm liking it. And
down.
CM Punk doesn't need to be around the title right now anyway, so that leads him to maybe beating up some baby faces all around AEW. My last prediction, I'm going to predict that my man, Orange Cassidy, holds the belt until 2024. I don't think he's losing it. I don't think anyone's going to come up to him, and I think all these fans are pissy about him, saying he's stale and this and that, and he wrestles too much. I think Tony Khan's all on board. I don't see anybody in the future beating Orange Cassidy. I'm going to say right now, I'm predicting Orange Cassidy being the longest running champ in AEW history and holding it until 2024.
I like that. I like that pick. I think that's a solid prediction. I do wish that they would change his match style a little bit. I'm not over the gimmick. I'm not over the character. I'm not over him, but I don't like the fact that he gets his ass kicked every single match. And then, he either has to win with heel tactics, like, holding the tights or putting his foot on the rope or just, he hulks up at the end and just, he's able to get the one last orange punch. And if he comes out with more tape on him than a mummy, because he's just got, he's banged up worse than Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has that broken arm, and then he's got a torn pec, and what's going to happen next for Orange Cassidy. But so I want them to change that a little bit, but no, he is a great international champion. It was the right decision putting that belt on him, and you can see what he's done for it. You remember what that was? It was the All Atlantic Championship before he took it on. And it was never defended, and everyone laughed at that title. Everyone thought, like, what a joke of a title that is. And AEW, like, they're bad if they have too many titles, and they're bad about it, and they're bad about defending them. This man defends it every week, and he kills it in the ring, and he's a great champion. And yeah, I want to see him hold this title for a long time.
I agree.
Now that we've said that, he's going to drop it next week.
Yeah, he's going to. Yeah, thanks, Tony Khan.
Just like Jade Cargill.
Next week.
Yeah.
Oh, remember that? Yep. And he'll never be seen again. But all right, man. It was fun to do an AEW show and not poop on it all night, huh?
It was a solid week of AEW.
Brought it back. Thank you, AEW, for keeping
keep it going. Keep it going.
Yes, I agree.
We need more. We need more Christian Cage. We need a little bit more Wardlow.
Where was my boys? Where were they acclaimed? I know they had Homegirl Flow on them. Homegirl now is a rapper, the girl in QTV.
I guess.
She was like ice cold in them, and then I don't know. That's the first week ever. They just came out with Acclaimed every show, was it?
Yeah, every week.
Acclaimed every week, and then they're not here. So I thought that was weird.
Bring more of them. Bring back Christian Cage and Wardlow, and I think you'll have an A+ show.
I agree. All right, man. We got to end it. Let's go. We did it. AEW.
We did it.
We're done. We'll see y'all next week. 2 dudes, Wolfpack.
We're out.
With the attitudes, let's go on the Friday.
Go follow us on all that jazz.
Yeah.
Follow us. And they came to get it in. If you want to hear it all, you in the right place. Going through the highs and lows at a pretty calm pace. This is where they talk to all elite. Dynamite and Rampage. All the other news on your timelines or your page. Shooting